My son, Peter, is an old-fashioned man who believes a woman's place is in the home, except when he needs her in the office. He needs Wendy about 5 days a week.
Yeah, fine, Garvey. I'll see you then. Listen, our committee's having an emergency meeting tonight, so will you cancel the bridge date?
Certainly not. The Third Cakes are expecting us. And Betty Third Cake prepares for bridge nights as if they were wedding receptions.
Oh, well, maybe Father will sit in for me.
That's very unfair of you, PJ.
Wendy, do you want the Boosters to help build this park?
Well, Dad won't play with amateurs like the Third Cakes. I'll ask Mom if she'll go.
And leave Father at home?
What's wrong with that?
I just told you we're having a meeting.
I'm not stopping you. Go ahead and have your meeting.
But you're not a member of the Boosters.
I'm a member of this household. And as a dues-paying member, I'm entitled to sit in my own living room and study the folklore of Bonanza.
Bonanza's on Sunday.
Oh, wait.
Listen, I just promised Jacob that you tell him and Theodore a story before they go to sleep.
Oh, I don't like to tell them bedtime stories. Every time I get going real good, they fall asleep.
That's the idea, isn't it?
But I fall asleep, too. What, you want me to get that?
No. I will. The boys are waiting. Take all the time you want. Hey, Leo. Hey, Frank. Hey, Freddie.
You don't have to tell me any stories, Dad. I can read one myself if I want.
You want a story, Jake?
Only if it isn't a baby story.
Oh, well, now, when did I ever tell you fellas baby stories?
When I was a baby.
Oh, that's 40 years ago.
You brush your teeth?
Yep.
Use toothpaste?
Yes, sir. A brush, too.
Brush, too. Gee, you went all out, huh? Well, now, let's see. I think I'll tell you a story tonight about old Josiah Kessel and the fastest bear in the West.
If this story is about Dad's grandfather, it probably isn't true.
It happens to be true.
All of it?
Almost all of it. A long time ago, old Josiah was a very young man in his early 50s. 28, to be exact.
Told ya.
Don't interrupt now. Old Josiah was panning for gold in Bismarck, North Dakota. And he had a cabin in the woods next to a great big tall redwood tree. And every night he'd bake himself a loaf of bread and put it on the window to cool off for his breakfast. But every night, a great big grizzly bear, fastest bear in the West, he came along and he ate the bread and then he climbed up the tree and went to sleep. Well, old Josiah, he got so mad at that darn bear, one day he took an axe and he chopped down his tree. And then he baked his bread and he put it on the window. He sat in the shadows waiting for that old grizzly, you know. Sure enough, old Mr. Bear, he came creeping up along that window. And Grandfather Kessel, he leaped up and he swung his axe at that great big old bear. And that big old bear jumped back. And he turned and he ran 346 feet straight up in the air before he found out that the tree was gone.
What part of that's not true?
It's all true except here and there. Well, that's it. Good night.
Good night, Grandpa.
Night, son.
Good night, Dad.
Yeah, I'd say it looks darn promising, guys. All we gotta do now... Oh, Father.
Oh, excuse me, gentlemen. Don't get up. Don't let me interrupt. Go right ahead with whatever you're doing.
Well, Professor, we're discussing...
It's just that we just kind of have to keep this project under wraps, Father.
Yes, indeed. Word of this gets out. Every town west of the Rockies is going to be in competition with us.
A public park.
Oh, for jobs, Professor, jobs. Industry that'll put Easy Valley on the map.
I thought we were.
You see, fellas, he's against it.
As long as it's out. Father, before you say anything, what we're trying to do is get a major company to locate its new plant here.
What kind of a plant?
A nice, safe one.
Yeah, very modern and clean.
Uh-huh.
Problem is, you see, the only site they'll approve is the very site that Mrs. Bullard is giving us for the park.
And they won't change.
Belco Corporation? Not a chance.
Well, maybe you could get Joe Bullard to change her mind.
Father, have you ever known Joe Bullard to change her mind?
Well, you can try, can't you?
I can't.
I can.
Good girl. What's her number? I'll give her a call. Invite her over for tea.
I don't think so, dear.
Coffee?
She'll suspect something if you invite her for anything. Joe's not stupid, Jim. She knows how you feel about her. I'll ask her over. And when she gets here, you better go walk your dog.
What dog?
She is one determined woman, that Joe Bullard.
Sure take my hat off to that.
Wish you would and give it to the Salvation Army.
This hat was handed down to me by my father, who inherited it from my grandfather,
Yeah, I
Josiah
know,
Kessler.
but sentiment is no excuse for bad taste.
They don't make hats like this anymore.
Why should they? They weren't able to sell out the first batch they made.
You men of science, who peer so impatiently into the future, you've got no respect for the glories of the past.
Bullhorns. What glories? Isinglass collars, coal oil, lamps, outdoor plumbing.
Clear air, pure water, an honest dollar for honest toil.
Man to man, Jim, is this your way of saying you don't want Belco Industries moving into town?
Oh, now you're talking like Pete.
That doesn't answer the question.
Well, if it means giving up the swimming pool and the playground, I'm against it. If it means having both of them, I'm for it. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Now, let's see if we can't help convince Joe Bullard of that.
Let's go.
All right, let's not discuss it further.
We can talk about it.
What happened?
Oh, that woman. If pig-headedness were bacon, she could feed all of China.
She won't budge an inch.
And there goes our only chance to get the Belco plant here.
Now, don't be so sure about that. Old Josiah used to say there's more than one way to skin a cat, which is why cats have 9 lives.
Well, let's all go inside and have some hot chocolate and marshmallows. I think Dad wants to tell us something.
No, I want Pete to read a paper the old man wrote about a year ago. Come on.
Well, that's very interesting, Father. But do you mind if I ask you a question?
What?
What have changing cultural patterns in organized labor to meet the demands of a leisure society got to do with changing the Belco Corporation's decision?
Well, first you have to make sure that they've made their final decision.
How can I do that?
Well, you can wait until they build the plant in another town, or you boosters can meet the lion in his lair. Charge in like a buffalo and take the bull by the horns and tame the tiger.
You sound more like a zoologist than an anthropologist.
You better keep on reading it. Hey, that's very good. Very good.